How's it going? I'm the MaxxiWriter and welcome to my third review for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So, in the last review, I covered the areas from when we got our starter Pokemon up to going through the trainer school, and I felt like that just wasn't a big enough area to really cover. So I tried to cover a little bit more of an area this time, and right after that, the story does start to story and things just really start to pick up a little bit. So quite a bit has happened. Right now, I'm covering the area from after we finish off everything at the trainer school and we meet Elima to completing Elima's trial challenge. And pretty much what's happened so far is we've completed the trainer school. We started exploring Howoli City, and and as we were exploring the city, we find bunches of in this region, the grass is there's grass in the cities, and the cities are also considered routes as well. It's really weird, but I like it. And but there's grass in the cities, but they're in little caged off areas, which is very interesting. They've never really done that before, and as well as just turning cities into routes and stuff, which is intriguing in itself. But they're continuing with the one main thing that's irritating me about these games is that they're continuing with closing you off. Like, they have the little grassy areas. You could go through them and get to from one side of the street to the other side. There's the streets would go like this. They connected at the end, and so you could just cut across through the grassy areas. But on the gate on the other end, they said that it was too wet, and it was wet with paint, and you couldn't open it. So it was still yet another way of forcing you to continue on through the story. Don't really like that. I want to explore, but now they're being open with you about pretty much these barricades and not letting you go where you want to go. It's gonna be a normal thing. Elima lets you know that they have area, or at least for some routes, they have routes blocked off to where you're not going to be able to go any further because they don't want weaker people going out there and getting just squashed by these stronger Pokemon. And so I guess I can kind of respect that, but it's still irritating because I just want to explore the game in its entirety already. Yes, I know I need to complete the story, but I know I do, and I bet there's a lot of other people that would just rather keep exploring and continue the story, like not just constantly being forced to go story. Like, maybe have some story, explore, have some fun, then go back to the story later. But no, it's just like straight through. It just wants to get you through this story, and then you can do what you want. And so there's another thing that I've found that I really like. In the past, when you catch 6 Pokemon, when you go and catch another Pokemon, you already have a full party, it'll just send that Pokemon straight to your box. And it kind of sucked if there's if there's this Pokemon you caught and you just really wanted to have on your team right then and there, and you were really far away from a Pokemon Center. Well, now they've added to where if you had 6 Mons in your party and you catch a 7th Mon, you can pick whether you want to send that Mon to your PC, or if you don't want to send it to your PC, you can go into your party and pick which Mon you want to replace it with and send that Mon to your PC instead. I really like that a lot. That is a feature that I feel like we should have had a long time ago. I mean, I just like it a lot. I really feel like we should have had that a long time ago. I'm glad that they finally introduced it. I'm so glad that they did. Another thing that I'm glad that they brought back is character customization. You can still customize your character. I'm glad you can do that. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, customization nowadays, people love doing stuff where they can make their characters look like them, or they can dress up their characters. And so I think that was a big thing. It was a good thing they kept it. It just makes these games a whole lot better. And in this area that I'm covering now, we did meet our bad guys, Team Skull. And let me just say, I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm just not a fan at all. Team Skull is legit. Like when Team Rocket was in the games, Team Rocket was actually intimidating, and they were hard to beat, and they weren't just annoying, and they actually had well thought out and formulated plans. Yes, I realize it's still early on in the story, but still, even early on in the story, they were trying to accomplish things. Team Skull, they're just thugs. They are wannabe gangsters that they just want to go around, steal Pokemon, and just cause trouble. Even the people of Alola don't see them as a threat. They're just like, oh yeah, they're annoying. Let's just deal with them right now. Get them out of the way so that we can go back to our lives. They view them how pretty much in the Pokemon anime, how Team Rocket is viewed. How Jesse, James, and Meowth are viewed. And no one wants a bad guy like that. I mean, those bad guys are fun in animes, but in games, they're just stupid. They're annoying. They're irritating. So I really don't like Team Skull. I wish that they had put more time and thought into them, or at least into how they're first being introduced. Because right now they're just annoying. Like even the NPCs find them annoying. They're like, yeah, like when we first meet Team Skull, we're talking to Alima. Sure, Alima is he's kind of snobby. I get the feeling that Alima is kind of snobby, but even for him and other people, they're just like trying to ignore them. But when they're first introduced, they're coming up to us and like, yo, 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 we're Team Skull and we're gonna beat you down. And Alima he doesn't even acknowledge them. He just keeps on talking to us. So if that tells you anything about how stupid and how crappy these bad guys are, that like I just have to count off on that for these games. I mean, we deserve better bad guys. I mean, Team Rocket to this point, I consider Team Rocket probably the least interesting or less of a threat of a bad guy as anyone else. I mean, we have Team Aqua and Team Magma. Team Aqua wants to wants to flood the entire world. Team Magma wants to destroy the world with just by creating new land and getting rid of all the water, which that would never really work because of displacement. But still, they would end up destroying so much in the process. Then you have Team Galactic that wants to destroy this world and make a new world. Then Team Magma, not Team Magma, I'm an idiot. Team Plasma that wants to pretty much wipe out humans and take Pokemon, free Pokemon, and kind of just wipe out humans that want to enslave Pokemon. I mean, they're probably one of the best bad guys ever. And then Team Flare that literally is going to fire off a freaking cannon into space back down onto the continent, into the Kalos region, and destroy everything. Like, and then we go from a group of bad guys that really are going to destroy an entire region to bad guys. Oh yeah, they kind of go back to Team Rocket, and they do it in such a horrible way. I mean, they're not a threat at all. They're not scary. They're just stupid and annoying. Enough about my rant of Team Skull, though. I really can't stand them. But I really like that the story is starting to pick up at this point. That's one good thing. The trial challenges, they seemed the first one was pretty much you go into this cave, the Terravan Cave, I think it's what it's called. I think so, Terravan Cave. So you go into Terravan Cave, and your challenge is you have to battle and defeat these 3 Pokemon. And then after that, you can go through this into this opening in the cave, get the crystal, and battle the totem Pokemon. So my first thought on the challenges is, at least the first challenge, it's okay. It's not really as interesting of a challenge as I mean, when you think of challenges, you think like, oh, they're gonna have you like try to work with Pokemon on this or try and help Pokemon, but nope, we're just running around finding 3 specific Pokemon, battling them, and then battling a totem Pokemon. I don't know, that's just my first impression. They're just okay. I feel like there's room for them to get better, and there's room for them to get a lot worse. Like, if they stay on with this trend, I'm going to start counting off for it because they're just not getting better. They're just staying the same, and they're not getting, I count them, I mean, it's always been said, if you're not moving forward, then you're moving back. So, I hope that these trial challenges start to get better. Another thing with the totem Pokemon, I'm not sure if it was just my luck, but I feel like they made them kind of broken. And this is also when we see our first, the challenge and the totem Pokemon are when we see our first differences between Sun and Moon. So in Sun, the trial challenge, the 3 Pokemon you have to hunt down are 2 Yungoos and a Gumshoos, and then the totem Pokemon is a Gumshoos. And then Moon, it's 2 Alolan Rattata and Alolan Raticate, and then the totem Pokemon is an Alolan Raticate. And they both have the move Bite. Both the totem Pokemon have the move Bite. And I'm not sure if it was just my luck or if they made it so that they have a higher chance of this stuff happening or that it always happens. But they have the move Bite, and you have a chance of flinching after someone bites you if you go second. Pretty much what I learned with the totem Pokemon, the only way you can beat them is if you're faster than them. And if you're faster than them, then they're going to use Scary Face, knock down your speed. So in order to get your speed back up, you're just going to have to switch out to another Mon. And you're just going to have to switch out to another Mon. And just keep switching and get like one move off at a time. Or if that Mon's lower level and it's not faster, then you're just going to have to use that as death fodder. Pretty much. But pretty much because the second that they get faster than you, you can no longer do anything, or at least that's how it was with me. They would always be biting. I only won on the first try in both Sun and Moon on pure luck. Pure luck. And it's just insane because every time they bit me, I flinched. Like in Sun, I counted it, they bit me like 12 times, I think it was. No, 11. They bit me 11 times. I flinched all 11 times. And I just barely escaped without... I won with 1 HP left on my last Mon. It was ridiculous. So, I just barely won. And then Moon, I actually had to use a revive. Because every time they bit you, you flinch. It's just ridiculous. When I did Moon, because I'm now at the point where I'm doing Sun first, and then I'm catching up in Moon. So I'm just playing them both at separate times, just because I was getting a headache trying to play both of them at the same time. And in Moon, I thought, well, maybe it was just pure luck in Sun. And so I didn't train my Pokemon up enough to get that way their speed would be higher than theirs. And that screwed me over in the end because I ended up having to use a revive in the first trial challenge just because they were flinching me constantly. I had one Mon that was faster than them. And then they kept using Scary Face to lower my speed, which is just so aggravating because as soon as your speed is lower than them, they're biting you, you're flinching. And they never missed a flinch. The 11 times in Sun that they did it, they never missed a flinch. And the 8 times they did it in Moon, 8. The 8 times they did it in Moon, they never missed a flinch either. So I think they made it for the Totem Pokemon, or at least for the first one, they always flinch when they bite, which just makes it a little too OP. It makes them broken, and I don't like that. So, while also giving them points for the Totem Pokemon actually being a bit of a challenge, they made it too broken, or unless it was just my luck. But anyways, they made it too... I think that they made it so, or they at least increased the odds quite a bit on there being a high crit ratio, or high flinch ratio. And so I have to take a little bit away from the points that I'm giving them for that. And it's just, but I like that they're actually making stuff a little more challenged. Because you can tell that the Totem Pokemon are, it's legit thinking. I mean, it's using Scary, and realize as soon as it finds out that that you're faster than it, it's using Scary Face to lower your attack. And it's then going with its broken bite that way you can never attack it. Not to mention, it's always calling on other Pokemon for help. So then it calls in its backup Pokemon, and that Pokemon's always it kept using defense. It was lowering my defense with Tail Whip, and then the Totem Pokemon kept attacking, and its Psychic kept using Tail Whip, or after it got your defense low enough, then it was also attacking. It's attacking as well. So they made it harder, but they made it just by making it harder, they would have done by making it so that the NPCs actually thought was good enough. They didn't need to throw in this brokenness with bite. And because I feel like they did. I never missed. I'm not sure. I haven't watched anyone else's Let's Plays, so I don't know if there's a chance for them to miss or not. But that's just my thought on it. So overall, for this section of Sun and Moon, I have to give it a 7 out of 10. Because while there's a lot of it that we found out that was introduced and that they brought back that I like, there's just a lot of it that aggravated me. So I had to give it 7 out of 10. I was debating on whether giving it a 6 out of 10, but I felt like that was being a little cruel because I'm not sure if they legit made it broken. So, but anyways, 7 out of 10. I'm hoping that the story starts to get better because where we left off, Lily has disappeared and we have to go search for Lily. So I feel like the story is going to start picking up a lot. I hope that the brokenness doesn't continue. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys are enjoying Sun and Moon. I'm enjoying it for the most part. I am enjoying it. I hope it gets better though. But anyways, be sure to live your life to the max.